Well, we have seen consolidation for the third straight consecutive day, and really haven't seen too much when it comes to the movements of the indices. And well, it's been a very quiet day, hasn't it, Nifty?
Yeah, so it's been a range-bound session of trade that we saw today, and Nifty made a very flat close, but importantly above that 8,900 mark, ahead of the exit poll results that we have later in the evening. And amidst the negative global setup, Asian markets somewhat ended mixed after the consumer inflation data, while European markets were also trading jittery ahead of the ECB conference. If you look at the chart for today, it was pretty much a range-bound session of trade. At 1:30, we did see the dip coming in, and market also leaving on to that, reaching that 8,900 mark. It did see some bounce back. However, by end of the trade, again, we did see some selling pressure coming in. Nevertheless, that 8,900 mark was held on perfectly. So the market breadth was pretty much negative, that I would say. And what happened in the F&O space? Did we see some resistance coming in for 9,000 calls for that matter?
Sure, we have seen a continuation of that trend. Once again, it's the 9,000 call, which is looking at a lot of accumulation. On the other hand, we're also looking at some more addition towards open interest in the lower level puts. So with respect to what's happened today, it is the 9,000 call, once again taking leadership position with respect to accumulation. It's followed by 9,100 and the 9,200 calls. We have seen some addition in the 8,700 call put as well. But when it comes to open interest, well, maximum open interest continues to remain the 8,700, which is taken over from 8,800 and 9,000 on the upper side. So we're now looking at about a 300-point range. And while it is expected to be range bound, we can expect a little more activity once we know the direction in which the exit polls are pointing towards. But this is as far as the F&O is concerned. I suspect we are looking at some gains in the likes of Maruti as well as SBI.
Yeah, so the gains were pretty much supported by all the auto and the banking stocks for the day. We saw something like Maruti Suzuki ending the day with gains of around 1.71. Then we had this banking pack like State Bank of India and Axis Bank holding the fort in green and ending the day above that 1% mark. Tata Motors too ended up with gains of 1%. This is after the news that the company is contemplating to sign a JV with Volkswagen on vehicle architecture. That's pretty much that in terms of the large cap stocks. Also on the losing side, we had Dr. Reddy's Laboratories and Wipro ending the day in losses. Dr. Reddy's slipped as much as the lows that was seen in Feb 15. That's after getting 13 observation for its Duva plan. That's we have on the losing side, and pretty much the story of Nifty movers and gainers. How is it in the broader space, Agam?
Sure. So when it comes to the market breadth in the broader markets, we're looking at about two gainers for three losers. Then with respect to some counters which is showing some weakness, we have Tamil Nadu newspaper, which is declined by as much as 8.5%. It's followed by Eros International, down as much as 7.7%. You have Rain Industries, MTNL, which was yesterday's gainer, is now losing out as much as 4.5% after it's come out and said that it is in denied talks with BSNL, any merger whatsoever. So we're looking at some weakness there. Nalco, Future Lifestyle, TVS, Sri Chakra all losing anywhere between 3.5% to 4% today. With respect to gainers, we have Balarpur Industries, which has gained 6.2%, Unichem Laboratories, Balrampur Chini and Inox Wind also gaining between 5 to 6%. Gujarat Fluorochem and Cera Sanitary were also among some of the other key gainers in today's day of trade. However, there is momentum building up towards the losers. We are looking at more resistance building up in the upper levels as well. But as far as the primary markets is concerned, we're looking at more encouraging response when it comes to some of these IPOs.
Yeah, so Avenue Supermarket IPO, which hit the market yesterday after seeing an overwhelming response of around 1.70 times in terms of the way it was subscribed, got a better response today, and the IPO was subscribed close to 3 odd times that we saw. Coming over, that's that in terms of the day's trade, but market would keep an eye out on the ECB conference, which happens later today in the evening, and also the exit polls, which is scheduled for today in the evening. We would see some bearing of that in the market tomorrow. Well, that's it that we have for you, or all for you for today, and that's a wrap. That's all that we have. Thank you for watching Bloomberg Quint.